Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my monthly wrap up for February. These are all the different books that I read in February and quick short reviews of each one, just letting you know what I thought, would I recommend them, etc. So our first one is actually two books because I've been really loving the Bake Shop Mystery Series by Ellie Alexander. So I finished not one but two books from the series this month, including On Thin Icing, which I'm putting on screen here because I already returned it to my library, and then Breadhanded, which I just recently finished. They were both fantastic. They were both 5-star reads for me. I'm just flying through the series. I'm adoring it. If you're unfamiliar with the series, basically our main character, Jules, is living in Ashland, Oregon with her mother, working at a bake shop called Tort, which is like a family business, and it's a delightful atmosphere. I love reading about Ashland, Oregon and the baked goods and all of that, of course. But essentially, the On Thin Icing was more of a closed mystery. She was actually visiting a ski resort and catering for a business retreat up there, and they got snowed in. So I really enjoyed that aspect because I do love the closed mystery. She took one of Tort's employees, Sterling, with her, and there was just a lot of great character development with the two of them. And I really enjoy this cozy mystery series because I feel like some cozy mysteries, the characters remain very stagnant throughout the whole thing, and with the Bake Shop Mystery Series you really get ongoing character arcs, but for all the characters. You have Jules herself, you have her mother, you have other characters in her life, the employees in the shop, and they're all they all have at least some level of character development through each book. You can definitely jump into the series at any point. However, I personally am really enjoying reading them from the start. So, and then this book here was caught red-handed, and basically Ashland, Oregon in this world is known for its Shakespeare festivals and Shakespeare themed things, and they're having their yearly Oregon Shakespeare Festival. However, there is a newcomer to town named Mindy who opened recently a fast food joint in the downtown historic area of Ashland, Oregon, and a lot of the locals are upset about this because the town is prided on its beautiful historic mom and pop restaurants and places, and this just sticks out like a sore thumb. And of course something inevitably happens to Mindy, and there's a lot of angry people at her, so it kind of makes it difficult to sort down who did it and what happened. So I really enjoyed this. I highly recommend it. I already have the next one on my nightstand actually from the library. I think it's called On Fudge and Fury. I'm gonna put it on screen here, but I haven't started it, and I'll definitely be starting it this week though. Very excited. So let's move on to our next one. Also, I don't think I mentioned this with the first book, but if you see a little post-it note on any of these books, it's because it has my library name on it and the town, so I'm just covering that for privacy sakes. But this one was kind of a fun pickup. I can't remember who on YouTube, someone talking about this, and I added it to my TBR because the illustrations are gorgeous, and this is called Greek Mythology, The Gods, Goddesses, and Heroes Handbook. It's by Liv Albert, and it's illustrated by Sarah Richard, and I mean, just look at the artwork in this. It's stunning. So if you are looking for a fun, pretty easy read with a good refresher on Greek myths and stuff, the artwork in this is just stunning. I really like the way they set this up. So they start with kind of talking about Greek mythology, the setup, and going through the main Greek gods like Zeus and Aphrodite and that lot, but then they go through the famous heroes in Greek mythology, and the way they do it, the order they do it in, it lines up really well, so it feels very natural when you're going from reading about one character to the next. It's just a very natural progression, and it really stuck with me. I really enjoyed it. The artwork again in this is stunning, so if you are interested in mythology, I think this is a really fantastic one. I really want to see if she has written other books on mythology. It says on the back that she has a popular Greek and Roman mythology podcast called Let's Talk About Myths Baby, which is really cute name. But I really want to see if she's written other things like this, or if you have any recommendations for great mythology books like this, I'd love to know, because it is something that I do enjoy reading about. I do mostly talk about mysteries on this channel, but this is definitely a topic of interest for me. Let me know if you enjoy it as well. So this next one I have kind of mixed feelings about. This was the new series for me. This is a completely new cozy author to me, and the series, I haven't read anything by her. And her name is Josie Bell, and this is her Goodbye Girls mystery series, and this is the first in the series, and it's called 50% Off Murder. And that is a close-up of that. I'm going to put a picture on screen because it's a little hard to see with the glossy cover on here. I don't know how I feel about this. It definitely wasn't a slam dunk for me. It was good. It was like I would say it was like a 3-star, 3.5-star read for me. Like, I enjoyed it. I definitely flew through it pretty quickly. Like, I was definitely engaged with the mystery and wanted to know who did it. But it was very, very like cliche for cozy mysteries. Like, every single cozy mystery trope, like, it had every single one. And of course, a cozy mystery is going to have some amount of cozy mystery tropes, but this like had every single one jam-packed, so it felt very cliche and it didn't feel like super unique. The theme for it is interesting. So the idea is the main character Maggie is in a Goodbye Girls club, which is like a group of girls and women who get together and look for like good deals on like clothing. They like coupon together. They're just like looking for a good buy, as the name suggests. So I kind of liked that. I thought that was fun. The camaraderie between all of the women was really delightful, so I did enjoy that aspect of the book. But it was just a little like cliche for me. I'm going to read the second book in the series if my library has it. I haven't checked yet, so I will put that on hold and read it because I liked it enough that I would want to continue reading it. And I know sometimes the first cozy in a series, it can be a little bit like, you know, there's like a lot of things you kind of have to set up for a cozy mystery series, like the atmosphere. A lot of times the characters are moving to the place, so sometimes it can feel a little cliche, and like the second book oftentimes will get a better rating from me. So I do want to read the next one in the series. Let me know if you have read anything by Josie Bell or if you've read this series. I did enjoy it. The quick premise and synopsis of this book is basically one day Maggie is at the library with her friend Claire, who's also a newer member to the Goodbye Girls Club, a little bit of an introvert, very private person, and they're going down to the library basement for something, and they stumble on a dead body. However, unfortunately, it's not just a dead body. That's bad enough, of course, but it's actually her friend's ex, and there's kind of some different shady past secrets and things that come out. It's very interesting. I enjoyed it. I would give it like a solid 3.5 stars. So I hate to sound like I don't like it, because I definitely did. I want to see it like step it up just a little bit in the next book, I'm hoping. And I'm hoping now that the world's been kind of established and the characters are more established, that the next book will be a little more unique and like a little more like it'll come more into its own, I think. So I'm hopeful for that. So I'm definitely glad I read this. I like it. I think the premise is fun, but I want to see how the next book goes, and that'll kind of be my deciding factor for how I feel and whether I really want to continue the series or not, because there's just so many series that I want to read. But let me know if you've read this series. I would be really interested to hear your thoughts on this or any of the books I'm talking about. And as usual, everything will be linked down below in the description for you if you are interested in checking any of these out or learning more about them. So this next book really appealed to my nerdy heart. This is the Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee, and this is from the Avatar: The Last Airbender series. If you are not familiar with this, it's one of the most amazing animated series of all time. It's like a fantasy world. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it no matter what age you are. It's so enjoyable. The characters are so well developed. I started watching it as it came out when I was like in middle school and like high school, I want to say, but my husband and I just recently rewatched it, and I'm in my mid-20s. Like, it's amazing. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are, what your age is, it's a really amazing series. So this is actually the first book I've read from the series that's based on it. I've never read anything from this, so I was really excited to learn about this. And this is basically the Rise of Kyoshi. This is it's like a prequel to the original Avatar: The Last Airbender series, because it follows the life of a different avatar. Essentially, if you're unfamiliar with the series, there's 4 different nations. Each one has its own type of bender that can bend one of the elements, so fire, water, earth, and air. And there's one individual called the Avatar who can bend all 4, and they're supposed to keep the balance between the physical world, all the humans, and the spirit world as well. And so each Avatar cycle, they are reincarnated into a different nation, so it'll go through and cycle. The main series, Avatar: The Last Airbender, follows an airbender. Avatar: The Legend of Korra is a waterbender, and Kyoshi is an Earth Nation citizen. This book was incredible. Even if you are not familiar with the main series, if you enjoy like a fantasy novel, this was definitely one of the best ones I've read in a long time. Even if I had been unfamiliar with the series, the character development, the relationships between the characters, everything about this was just so beautifully written. You felt like you were living and breathing the world around you. I couldn't recommend it enough. I'm very excited because the next book, there's 2 in this series, and I've somehow already forgot what it's called. I will put a picture on screen, but I'm very excited. I already have that on my nightstand as well to be reading. This book, I flew through it. It's almost, it's like 450 pages. I flew through it. It was so incredibly good. I can't recommend it enough. I'm not going to go on too much because if you're not a fan of the series, maybe this isn't your thing, but it's an incredible fantasy novel. Highly recommend. Okay, so back to our mystery novels. I am so excited for this because I read the first one, and when I did my tier ranking video recently, I'll link that above if you want to check it out, I think I put this in the middle category, which was good, but not like a love or not a absolutely like my absolute favorite category, but I put it in like the good section where it's like a series that I enjoy, I want to read more from, but it wasn't like a, drop everything and read it kind of book. And I almost like missed getting around to reading this because I was so excited about the Bake Shop Mystery and some of the other books I had that this just kept sitting on my nightstand, but I finally was like, Amy, you gotta pick this up. You enjoyed the first book. And this is the St. Just Mystery Series by G.M. Malliet, and this is Death of a Lit Chick. So this is the second book in the series. Last month I finished the Death of a Cozy Writer, or Cozy, I think it's Death of a Cozy Writer, which the name appealed to me because of course I love cozy mysteries, so I really wanted to read that one. And essentially the basic premise, it seems, of this series is that each book there's like a writer who dies and like within a different niche. So this one was Lit Chick, which I thought would be kind of fun for February because Lit Chick reminds me of, like Valentine's Day, romance, that kind of a little bit more maybe like a love premise. So it kind of reminded me of Valentine's Day, and the cover is very like cute and just fun. So I was really, really excited to read this. I really enjoyed what this one commenter said on the back. This is by a comment by Nancy Pearl, the NPR commentator and author of Bookless, and she said it's a delightful homage to the great novels of Britain's golden age of mysteries, and that was like a perfect way to summarize the first book, which was Death of a Cozy Writer. It feels very much like Agatha Christie style writing, but set in modern times. So basically we have our main character named St. Just, and he is like a small time detective. Like he doesn't have like a huge department or anything, but he ends up at this convention, and it's an exclusive writers conference at Dalmorton Castle in Scotland. And this book was so much fun because the convention is all mystery writers. And a lot of them have it out for the Death of a Lit Chick author, who is Kimberly Cater. She is a chick lit kind of very cozy writer style, and a lot of them don't take like cozy mysteries seriously because they're fun and they have like quirky themes and stuff. And her book was Death of a Latte, and it was like a bestseller. So a lot of the writers at the convention are very jealous of her. A lot of the writers are like maybe more gory murder mystery writers or more traditional murder mystery writers. So they're very like, oh, that's not real writing or murder or whatever. Which, can we just, it is real writing. Everything. Like, if you enjoy the book, it's a book. It's a real book. Like, I hate it when people are snobbish about different genres. If you enjoy the reading, enjoy the reading. But it's a problem when Kimberly ends up dead because there are so many people on the scene, and it's also more of a closed mystery, which I really enjoy because they're in this castle, and the drawbridge is like closed up when the murder happens, so nobody can get in and out of the premises because there's an actual moat around the castle, which that's like the perfect murder mystery setting in my opinion. So Kimberly ends up dead and she's actually found in the dungeon for extra drama there, and Saint Just has his hands full because there's just there's a ton of writers there at the conference, all of them who disliked her for one reason or another pretty much. There's agents, there's just, it's a mess. There's a lot of people who disliked her because she was a very strong personality, and then she was also very ruthless in her ambitions, and then she also has like this best-selling novel, so a lot of people are very jealous of her success as well. So there's a lot of reasons why someone could have personally or professionally hated her, which makes it not so fun for him to go through all the clues. The reveal was just incredible. Like I was shocked, I was stunned, it was fantastic. I loved the reveal. So I'm definitely gonna be picking up the next one. There are currently, I think, 4 out in the series, so it's not a super developed series, and I did see there was a big gap in the writing. However, I think the last book came out last year, I want to say, so I'm hoping that means they're gonna keep writing it. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for this. So this is just definitely moved up on my tier ranking to like a love it probably. Absolutely loved it. It was so good. If you enjoy that classic, more Agatha Christie style cozy mystery writing, this is fantastic. Love it. So definitely recommend that. Could not recommend it enough. Okay, and so that's it for my mysteries of the month that I read. I did read a couple of nonfiction. I was on a nonfiction spiel, so I'm gonna go over those real quickly. I don't know how many of you are as interested in nonfiction as I am. Let me know if you like nonfiction, but I'm gonna go over them in kind of rapid fire. So I read Rest by Alex Soojung Kim Peng this month. This was a reread for me, and it just didn't disappoint. If you are looking for a book that talks about active rest and why, like, people always talk about how to be more productive with your work and you know what you're doing and stuff, but they never talk about how to also productively rest. Like, it's two sides to the same coin. This book is fantastic. It's so good, especially if you are someone who works for yourself or works from home. But even if you don't, there's so much science and a lot of good research in this book and a lot of applicable tips. I loved it. I read it last fall and I had to read it again just because it was so good. So definitely recommend. This next one, a little disappointing. This is Dollars and Cents, How We Misthink Money and How to Spend Smarter. It's by Dan Ariely and Jeff Kreisler. Those are the spellings right there. And I DNF'd this. And it was such a strange one because usually if I DNF a book, it means I really disliked it. But I DNF'd this book because I just got bored. Like, I really enjoyed the writing. I liked the examples. I thought they were well fleshed out. I thought the writing was really clean, but I just, like, it did not maintain my focus long enough. And I really do enjoy reading, like, personal finance books and, like, psychology. So it just, something was off about it that I just couldn't maintain my focus. I made it about halfway through, and what I did read, I did enjoy, but I just couldn't bring myself to finish it, which maybe isn't the best review. I don't know quite what it was. I think it needed some more examples because it could monologue a little bit about the same point for too long, in my opinion. So overall, it was really good. I would consider, these guys have some other books, I would consider checking them out personally. I did enjoy it, but something about this book, it just didn't maintain my focus. I couldn't do it. So I wish I could. I liked the premise, but it just didn't do it. And then the last one is Monotasking, which you're going to see coming up shortly in a book haul I did for my birthday that's coming up. And this is called Monotasking. It's by Staffan Notebert, and it's how to focus your mind, body, and be more productive and improve your brain health, which I picked this up because I thought, you know, maybe this could help with work. It seemed, you know, I'm always trying to improve, you know, productivity, my work. I have a lot of flexibility with how I can set my schedule up because I do work for myself. So I wanted to see, you know, what this was all about. I heard some good things about it. The content is excellent. I did finish the book. I only rated it like 3 stars, I think, on Goodreads though, because every single tip in this book is set up like this. 1 page for each tip, which is fine. However, it gets so monotonous as you're reading because even if you just read 15 pages, you just read 15 different tips, and it's hard to really retain the information in that way. I find like I prefer it when I'm reading a chapter on a book that focuses on a bigger point, maybe breaks down a few different tips in that chapter, but kind of brings it all together. And this was just like reading a big blog post that had like way too many tips on it with too much information, and it just was information overload. So while I did learn some good things from this, I wouldn't recommend it unless you really like that style, or unless you want to read it at a very slow pace, like 5 pages a day maybe. Or maybe you have a better attention span than me, that's entirely possible too. So it was good information. The concept of monotasking is basically not multitasking, right? Basically complete focus, one task at a time, and they go into the research behind that, they go how to apply that, whether you work for yourself, whether you work in an office, etc. So it's a very well written book. The information is fantastic, but I just really didn't like the style of how it was presented, basically, the information. So I'm kind of like borderline, like if that kind of style of writing doesn't bother you, I would recommend it absolutely, because the information was great. But if you think you would be kind of bored or having a hard time retaining information from it like me, then I'd probably skip it, because it's just no. I would recommend instead, if you like this concept and you want to learn more, read Deep Work by Cal Newport. Absolutely fantastic. One of my most loved nonfiction books ever. I'll put a picture here for you to look at. It's fantastic. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. But this book, the style of how it was presented, I couldn't do. Like, it felt like it took forever to read, even though it's only like 200 pages. So those are my books for February. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Let me know down below, what did you read this February? Did you start any new mysteries? Did you start any other new series? Do you like hearing about nonfiction books or book reviews, or should I leave those out? Let me know down below what you think, and I will see you guys in my next video. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. My name is Amy Marie. I do post mystery book content every single week on this channel, and yeah, I hope you'll hit subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!